really important. Good icebreaker.
Good chat.
Okay, welcome along everyone. So we're here today for a day of managing complaints training. So I know you guys are all super busy usually and have very important managerial roles across ABM and N.
Dano's wondering what your name is.
Yeah, I was just about to do that.
Oh, sorry.
Thanks. So my name's Amy. I'm going to be the trainer for today's session. I've been working as well with the trainees that I think you guys are supervising that are completing their customer contact certificate 3. So this will hopefully give you some skills to support them and to maybe build up some more skills for yourself as well. So it's a obviously very open learning environment. You guys are all here to find out some things that are hopefully going to be very useful for you. So we can definitely change up the session as much as you need. Feel free to ask questions as we go throughout it. If you've got some really relevant experiences, make sure that you bring those to the table. It's a useful environment where we can all learn from each other. So feel free to do that as well. A couple of things just to cover off on. We're recording this for training purposes, so let me know if anyone has a problem with that. And also need to keep in mind work health and safety throughout the training. So all of you, I'm sure, are very across the workplace health and safety standards for the organisation and generally, so just keeping those in mind as we move throughout the training. And again, if you've got any concerns, just make sure that you come and grab me or ask any questions. So we will, does anyone have any questions to start off with?
When's lunch?
We're just going to do the handling complaints session to start off with, so that'll only be for the next 40-45 minutes or so. So after that you can head to lunch if you'd like, and we'll cover off a few other things. But if you need a break, always feel free to, the bathroom's just down the hall, so also head off whenever you need if you like. Yeah.
Dano wants to know if it's hot lunch or cold lunch.
So lunch is not actually catered, so you can have whatever you like actually.
They told us it was catered.
Okay. Yeah, there's a few snacks and things,
We'll
but
put it on the card first, so we'll put it on the business.
Okay.
We'll go out afterwards.
Alright, no worries. Cool. That's great. Alright, well let's get started with today's session. So we'll start off by doing a bit of an icebreaker activity. So in a pair or in a group of 3, whoever's nearby, have a chat about, introduce yourself, maybe tell one thing about yourself and an experience that you've had as a manager in handling complaints, something that's been particularly difficult for you or something that you feel that you've done really well. So just do that now, we'll have a couple of minutes, then we'll come back into the group and introduce everyone.
So Mason's just gone out to sort out lunch.
Oh, I'm
Good.
Okay. So I'm Jacob. But we're not How are your people with customer complaints? They all right?
Yeah,
Well,
I'm struggling a bit with
actually, to be honest, I had this one
What's that name?
in previous workplaces.
Yeah, I used to work in
had this one bloke in one of the teams. Had a customer come in, he asked for his money back, and he gave it back to him straight away. He didn't even have proof of it.
Not that branded, was it?
Yeah,
That's funny. I swear, if that guy's not giving money out, he just doesn't know what he's doing.
They're not accountable.
Yeah, I find we had this one called Mel. Wouldn't have a clue what to do. Just stay out there, look at it. Anytime they ask her a question, she doesn't know the answer. And you got to think like, you get the same question every day.
I blame people in culture for that. They're not teaching.
Talk about that henna. natural
How do you
route.
deal with
You know what
that?
I
Yeah,
reckon?
we're
We just
They
need to
just
replace
make work
all the
with
computers.
How are you guys going? Stories?
Automated-
Kind of
automated.
helpful? Constructive kind of story?
Yeah, we're trying to figure out how we're going to solve it.
What are you trying to solve?
Well, I was just talking about how, one bloke was Brendan and works in one of the customer
It looks a bit like that.
But he just gives away refunds straight away without even getting like receipts or like finding out exactly why. People are,
Record keeping, not
yeah,
story.
I've just been a bit sort of business orientated, like without asking, you know, well, what was the problem? Why did you cancel? If it's fully their fault, then you know we shouldn't be giving out a
I mean, we don't talk to people in culture, and all they tell us is you can't get rid of it, you just go to training.
so somewhere along the way communications is not
So,
going through.
good luck, trainer.
Is there any feedback that you guys have that we would incorporate into the training? I mean, some of these points is about if there's a bit of a gap in communication, we can definitely build that in.
Well, I think it's about understanding the requirements from a business perspective as well. So obviously, you know, deal with customers.
Are you doing any training with the frontline stuff?
Yeah.
Oh, that'll be good. That'll help. I'm sure they'll do a great job.
Yeah, okay, cool. Is there some particular things that you think that they could get across, like the organisational policies, for example, that you think we could get Okay. And have you introduced yourself to talk about an example of some of your...
Oh, Jacob's got a pretty nice boat. He was telling me about.
Yeah. Jakob and
I
I
mean,
work
we
together.
tried.
Okay.
And then I just started talking about my problem with people
Brand.
who just keep giving away bloody money.
Alright, well how about we come back to, how's everyone going? How about we come back to the group and we'll just do a quick, I think a lot of you know each other already from you know, manager meetings and others.
Yeah, I don't know Elizabeth.
Looking at you, Isabel.
Where do you work?
I'm the operations manager.
What does that involve?
Yes,
Okay.
above everyone.
Literally, she's on the 5th floor.
Alright, so maybe we'll just...
Fourth story good.
Okay, so for everyone's benefit, Mason, just in case not everyone knows everyone, we might just go around and do a quick introduction. So do you want to start off, Mason?
Mason.
Mason works for me. I'm Jakob, and this is Mason.
And what about, is any other things about yourself?
Membership services. So still
So,
got the membership.
Mason, what Mason does is Mason works for me doing membership services, and then I've got another lady that works for me that does products as well.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. And that's good. What about, so how about yourself, Mason? Have you had any particular experiences with customer complaints?
Yeah, well, we were just talking to Nano here about Brandon, and we've certainly had complaints about him from
not complaints about staff, sort of more complaints from customers.
We've had a few complaints about staff, I tell you what, haven't we, Mason?
We sure bloody have.
Okay, well...
Customer complaints about...
So, complaints from customers, in dealing with customers.
Oh, about our membership, when people came, yeah.
Yeah, I mean about our events, for example.
Yeah.
They say the leadership forum is a bit of a problem. I don't know who have we got running that these days.
Sally's on that now.
Yeah, look, we've had some complaints about the not being appropriate to the level of attendees.
Right.
So that's an issue for
And
us.
have you been out? How have you dealt with that kind of complaint?
Look, well, we talked to people in culture over there. Yeah, I mean, we've had this conversation with you about who we can get on the job in place, but I think what we keep hearing is we've got to train up the people we have.
But again, probably a people and culture issue, I'd say.
Yeah, well, we hear you.
We try and give you all the resources, but it's really good if you guys can just take the lead.
We just can't get rid of some of the resources.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
Or if we had
Alright.
better events in the first place.
Okay, well we might bring it back. Let's just do a quick whip around and just
There are a lot of
introduce.
issues.
Yeah, okay. So there's a few issues, and we can try and definitely talk a bit more about them today. But we'll just stick with a sort of brief introduction. If there's any particular story you'd like to share about not anyone in particular who's been a problem, but more a customer complaint and how you've dealt with it, or things that you'd like to learn from today's training session.
So I'm Jakob. I won't get going on about my complaints because I'll go off like a frog in a sock.
Okay.
So at this stage, I think I might just pass over the demo.
Okay. Thanks. Jakob?
Well, it's sort of a complaint, I guess, but it was more that one of the staff, this Brandon guy, he
Brandon. Oh, he sets me up every time.
Alright, I think we've covered off on Brandon, so...
It's just that he was causing trouble with one of the customers. They came in, they wanted to get a refund, and he was being a bit difficult with them.
Right.
And he was asking too many personal questions, and turned out that this person who was trying to get a refund had just had a bereavement in the family.
Right.
And so he was apparently he was saying that Brandon was being a bit intrusive. So I think it's about identifying, trying to respect the needs of the customers, and perhaps that didn't happen.
We could handle complaints better.
Okay. Good. All right. Well, that's useful. Thanks very much for that, Dan.
This is Sarah. She's in People and Culture, and we were just talking about how we kind of need more help with our staff, just getting them to kind of think about the customer a bit more when they're handling complaints, and that kind of emotional intelligence to be able to understand where they're coming from in order to help them.
Yeah. Okay. Great. Sarah?
Yes, this is Elizabeth. As she said, she's head of operations, and she said the same thing. Like, one of the techniques is trying to imagine how you would experience a customer experience. So trying to get our staff to pretend that they were the ones who were having to get help, and whether or not they would want a good experience or a bad experience.
Yeah.
So that kind of empathy.
Yeah. Fantastic. Thanks, Sarah.
This is Hannah from People and Culture, and she was talking about how they get sort of a lot of complaints in People and Culture, and it can kind of chew up a lot of time, so it's kind of important to try and delegate them sometimes, so it doesn't take up too much of your time.
Right.
Yeah.
Great.
And Isabel is from Strategy, and she doesn't get a whole lot of customer complaints, but is working on managing her staff and getting them trained up so that they're happy.
Okay, fabulous. Well, great to have you all along. We will get stuck into the training. So basically we're going to start off, we're going to address a number of the issues that you guys were sort of mentioning and touching on there, particularly that empathy idea. But to start off, we're going to do an exercise where we're looking at, first off, we've just got a general kind of principle about customer complaints. So when we're resolving a complaint in a customer's favour, that usually means that they're going to come back. So we want to treat all customers like they're particularly important, like they're someone that could be very high-powered, that could bring a lot of other people with them. Treating every single person like they're the most important person in the world means that they're going to have a really good experience with your business. They potentially will come back, and they'll potentially bring others with them. So it's that kind of principle of saying that everyone is really critically important to the business. So the model that we're going to look at today, we're going to say that there's 5 steps in responding to a customer complaint. So before we actually get stuck into the 5 steps, because you guys are quite experienced and have been managers for a while and have dealt with complaints, I want you to break up into groups of 3 and 4, and maybe mixing things up a little bit, and maybe we'll go this way. So this 4 and you guys go together, and just try and work through what the 5 steps potentially be. So you can use these purple cards, and then develop 5 steps, and then we'll bring back to the middle of the group, and we'll propose what we think the five steps are. So just a couple of minutes to do that.
So what are we doing? Brainstorm.
5 steps for it.
Alright.
So our group.
I think we're with Mason and Jakob. So I'm happy to write if, yeah?
We can brainstorm.
Yeah,
Right.
First step,
Are we all gonna
listen.
Are we all gonna
Yeah, that's probably a good one.
Listen to the
Elizabeth,
complaints.
yeah, I think you'd be able to
Yeah.
So important.
We should try and make this, or maybe I'll just write it down on one piece of paper instead
So
of
that you've
five.
got to like really understand the problem.
Listen.
Yep.
That's true. So you gotta
Cool.
find that out.
Second
Yeah.
step, identify the nature of the complaint.
Yeah, gather the information.
Like ask questions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Cool.
then
You're on a roll, Mason.
Come up with solutions.
Yeah.
Or are we skipping it? Oh, we're gonna run out of
Was last
five.
questions the second?
We just
Oh,
gotta
no,
say,
no,
you
that's
know,
good.
Oh, then we propose it.
Propose.
Negotiate.
Okay.
Feedback.
Solve.
Seek feedback.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and then
So-
you gotta
I like that.
Okay,
Kind
so
of
number
figure
3
out
is
what's the
propose the solution.
preferred. Yeah. What do they want? What's gonna
And
solve
then number
the problem?
4,
And then you have to figure out if it's something that we can provide.
negotiate an outcome.
Yeah.
Does that work?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
Is
so.
that too like aggressive? I don't know.
I think that's good.
No, we're
I mean,
negotiating,
you
we're
don't have to
not-
negotiate with
Yeah,
the
yeah,
window.
that's
Can we deliver
Yeah.
Yeah.
That kid outside.
The solution.
appropriate
Everyone
solution?
knows the same.
Number 5.
Seek feedback.
Yeah, cool.
Say that one.
See if they're happy.
Four.
Bask in the glory.
And now you guys have the underneath
Give the solution.
from
So
your
we've got
experience that
we've
you've
only
come
got
up with
4.
that kind of.
What else is there?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Bit of common sense, bit of
Yeah,
experience.
everyone's experience.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can't we just be like give the
So can you think of an example of a time where you
And then
worked
what's
through
that?
those kind of steps
Feedback.
in dealing with a complaint?
Usually skip 1 or 2.
Yeah, you can usually
Very
mix 3 and
Got
4
it then?
together, can't you?
I'll
And
skip 1 and 2 and go straight to 3.
That's right.
That's good. Yeah. That's
Quickly
effective.
whip through.
What do you think you miss if you skip straight to 3?
The problem.
Yeah.
The complaint.
So probably isn't the best way to go.
Sometimes there's no solution though, that's when it's hard. Then it's just like identify the nature of the complaint, just go lie down.
You've got to deliver it though. So I mean,
Or even negotiating an outcome. Sometimes it's like it's sort of like, well,
Like,
there's
sorry.
one option.
I guess
Yeah.
you
Take it.
I'll
Yeah,
leave
exactly.
it, you know, same
Maybe
thing.
I'll leave it, yeah.
Alright, if you guys finish, choose the person who's going to be the spokesperson for your group.
Well, I did all the writing, so I'm kind of maybe
Alright, sure.
cool.
Thank
Were you
I'm
really
tired.
No, we're
Good.
Yeah.
And are you guys
speak
finished
on
as well?
behalf of Mason.
Okay, have you guys picked someone who can
yeah.
speak for the group?
Yeah.
Okay.
Get operations
The
going.
So we'll come back into the group and we'll have Hannah. Is it Hannah?
Yes,
Yeah.
Hannah.
Hannah and Elizabeth. So you speak through your 5 steps that your group developed.
What do you guys do?
Shall I start?
Yeah, sure.
Alright,
You head up.
Well, our group, Jakob, Mason, Isabel and I, just based on our experience, we think the 5 steps are 1, listen, 2, identify the nature of the complaint and gather information, 3, propose a solution, 4, negotiate an outcome, and 5, seek feedback.
Great.
That's all up before.
Okay, and how similar is that to yours, Elizabeth? Have you
Yeah.
got anything different there?
Pretty similar. So we did number 1, just understanding the problem, ask any questions. Number 2, work out or figure out the solution that we can propose. We have to make sure, it's number 3, that we can deliver the solution. And number 4, provide the customer with the possible solution and then seek feedback.
Okay, so yeah, both pretty similar. So I think you did really well, and you captured a lot of the 5 steps that we would. So first one, listen and understand. So I think between the 2 of you, you both got that, and that was very much the kind of asking questions. Second step, empathise. So this is one that I think was maybe missing from both of the. And I think a few of you mentioned it actually when we were talking about how you deal with complaints and what's important. It is that empathising and understanding what someone else's position. So it can be part of listening and understanding, but it's a slightly different step. Third one, I think you definitely all got, offer a solution, execute it, carry it out, and So we're going to go into a little bit more detail on each of those steps, and then we'll finish up with a role play. Okay, so first up, responding to a complaint, first thing we want to do is listen and understand. So it's about using all of your communication skills, active listening, seeking to really work out exactly what it is that a customer, what the issue for the customer is. If you aren't able to understand, then obviously the solution that you're going to propose is going to be mismatched and potentially isn't going to address their actual concerns. So it's a critical first step. Has anyone had an experience where they themselves haven't felt listened to or understood?
I in it.
Yeah, you do?
Yep.
What's your example, Sam?
Mostly just in terms of having to repeat the same problem when I'm talking to like say an internet company, and then they transfer me to another component of the company. I have to start all over again.
Yeah.
So they don't seem to pass information between certain parts.
Yeah, it can be very, very frustrating.
I kind of have that problem with people in culture sometimes.
Right.
Yeah, well that's how we screen your phone calls.
See?
Right. So maybe it's also something that ABN wants to focus a bit more on in terms of making sure there's a good transfer of knowledge between all of the different parts of the agency.
Yeah, that's right.
Thanks.
Oh, not you guys. The other guys in people and culture.
Oh yeah, they're the worst.
Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, it may be worth something you can definitely kind of consider further in some of your management meetings, or as part of broader strategy for the agency. So
that's what people in culture tell me.
Empathising.
We need to fire this person.
Dano, why do you empathise with someone? What does it do?
Well, then it shows them that you're actually listening to them.
Yep.
And also, hopefully, it might calm them down a bit.
Yep. Yep.
Amy, how do we teach our staff to empathise?
And the morons.
Yeah, they're a bit slow.
Right. Well, I think a good exercise is just working with people on empathising generally. So you can take it as you can do some workplace exercises where you're trying to, when they come to you with a problem and they're trying to explain something to you, that you practice empathy and listening to them. So you're listening and understanding, but you're also working on kind of mirroring what their particular concern is or issue, and then using a kind of debriefing example after they've done that. So trying to then draw out what it is that how it is that you're behaving, and how that they could then use that themselves. Is that
that's a good idea.
potentially helpful? Yeah. Okay. So we're going to do an empathy exercise now. So empathy also builds trust, which I think is what you're also saying as well, Dano. And it makes the customer feel like you really have listened and understood, so that you don't get just bounced around between 100 different people. So grab a partner. What we're going to do here is basically what I was just explaining to you, Hannah. Pick a topic that is particularly important to you, and explain, and something that you've got a concern about. And I want you to explain start talking about that issue to your partner. And I want you to, as the partner, to be trying to empathise with them. So actively listening and asking questions if it's appropriate, mirroring if it's appropriate. So making the person feel as if they're being heard and understood. Does everyone feel like they can do that? Yep. So we'll just do a couple of minutes. Just grab a partner.
I think it's a good sign that doggies are in trouble.
Alright.
Just one of them.
Well,
so, just don't want
increasing the fees
like
registering
find it really
dog
frustrating.
the local council.
It's had
And
close.
You're not even part of that.
And the thing is, tell me about it.
Sometimes it's frustrating when we have to travel for work.
Yeah, I
you're going to be airport
scheme
and you've made
like
your
it's not
money, or like,
yearly
you know, the
fee
company's
now,
put
it's
your
just
booking for you,
ridiculous.
and then you get to the desk
Having
and
a
they're
dog.
telling you that they
in
can't
the
find
I'm
you.
literally having
Oh.
to
And
like,
you're standing there and
doing
like,
that
you know,
and
you went
watching
to
that
the, you know,
engagement
stage
with that
versus
process,
process,
then
and
Maybe
they say, no,
quite
sorry, you
made
can't
for you
track
then,
it,
because
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
you know,
can't do this
the
here,
Hawthorn went
you
to an
know,
early lead,
somewhere
and the
else.
Bulldogs have been so
Yeah.
strong fighting back and keeping the
Yeah.
base up, and they have lost some things. So maybe that would be
Yeah.
quite tough for
Yeah.
you.
Do you have anything?
Being obviously being in the moment.
Do you have a
I don't
do you have
emphasize
any
that.
Yeah,
experience
I
like that?
didn't want to
Like,
actually
what
like
kind of behaviour when you're
For me, it's less about liking the Bulldogs as it is about hating Hawthorn. So I mean, the Bulldogs or could be, you know, Saints or whoever's bombers. But it's sort of that, you know, uniting around a common enemy.
Yeah.
Do you have that really?
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I like following it. It's like following it.
You know,
Like it's,
people with bad
well,
kind of
driving
big,
licenses.
I seem to
But
I find it really difficult.
struck a bit of a chord there, the empathy.
The pies.
It's been
I think that they're-
What are you going to say about the pies?
Probably have to
Yeah.
I think that's
So you don't
okay.
make one.
Can't empathize with anyone.
Can't empathize.
So I think you noticed a particular shift there.
Yeah,
kind of think one
big
thing
shift
and
when
then
it was like an issue that I felt personally
Because
touched.
like if you were told
the
it
other
wasn't
person.
one,
It's definitely empathize
No,
when you
it's
think the other
I mean,
person is
yeah,
so
out
firm.
in my life,
Yeah, when you-
Yeah, so it's like, you know, it must be difficult to live your life constantly incorrect. But you know, that's hard when they go way off the
you
mark.
guys really understand it. I
So
really
before that, sort of
really
Yeah, definitely.
And
It's
what kind of
commenting,
things would
But
you
you
do?
don't have to have like a helpline, you
questions,
just have to send them an email.
following up
Like,
on
like,
like
That's
asking
that's
why.
Yeah.
Sure, the
nodding,
process there.
It was also
like-
explaining how that related to him. He gave me an example.
Actually, I hate that when hotels, like if you're on holiday,
Yeah.
they've advertised it all, and I thought they were
Right.
going to
Really
get
nothing like
And
bad
then you
vibes.
can't
Yeah.
bring it up and you're like,
Yeah.
people look at you and you're like,
Yeah.
well,
Okay, has everyone
It's nice to have a benching.
has everyone had an opportunity to
Training school.
Rand?
do that?
I love you.
Sobbing.
Okay, so does anyone want to share from that experience any you did you?
Yeah, I was just going to say, like, Tim's quite concerned that the
Who's Tim?
Bulldogs. Oh, sorry, Mason's quite concerned that, you know, the Bulldogs were in front and now losing to Hawthorn.
Yeah.
And, you know, I totally understand that because we share, like, a common hatred of Hawthorn.
Yeah.
So that allowed us to sort of empathise with each other, and I can really understand his stress
Yeah.
in this moment. Yeah.
Yeah. Great.
That's beautiful.
That's good. Yeah, Dan.
well, I was telling these guys about how it's really frustrating when you're like, you book training for work and there's no lunch when the brochure, I'm pretty sure when I talk to like the training agency, they're like, the brochure said there was lunch. And just basically, I guess it's a metaphor, not a metaphor, but like a parallel for when like you think one thing, you're told one thing, and then
What you
you plan around that, and then
You
it doesn't
rely
happen.
on it a little bit.
Yeah, but these guys were good. They listened to me really well. And it's good. It's good. It helped me.
Yeah. Okay. Great. And do you guys have any observations from your exercise?
We're talking like one of Hannah's big concerns is like the parking downstairs, which is just like ridiculous. Like there's not enough of it. We're talking about how if something like
assistant.
yeah,
It's
that's
a
right.
nightmare,
Right.
isn't it?
We're talking about how like something bad like that can just like ruin your whole day. So I suppose that's kind of like why the responding to a complaint well thing is important because it can like totally ruin someone's day if something goes bad.
Great. Well, I think you all did a really good job there in practicing empathy and really mirroring what was going on for the other person. So, do you feel like Hannah, you could use that kind of technique with a colleague or one of your staff members?
Yeah, I think so because we complain about parking all the time in my team. So we can do that discussion. You know, we can debrief about it.
Yeah,
and practice empathy that way.
And perhaps also for other things as well.
Yeah.
Other issues as well.
Yeah, other things too, definitely.
Yeah. Okay. Great. So third step, offer a solution. So in offering a solution, there's obviously a couple of key things. You want to know your products and services because you want to be in a position to be able to actually...
Educated, yeah, that's what we have a lot of problem is they, you know, they get a complaint, but they don't know what they're, you know, what the complaint's about or what they can offer. Yeah.
Or they offer the wrong solution because they don't know.
Like a refund, Brandon's no one's purchased anything yet, he's offering a refund.
Yeah. So but that's then just building up their knowledge of the actual organisation, so that then they'll be in a better position to actually know what they can offer. Drawing on